happening as we speak. Currently, we are in the school games fever. We are, of course, in the national secondary school games that are currently happening in Kiambu County. Talk about football, talk about rugby, talk about all the games that definitely feature for the schools. Now teams are looking for tickets to represent Kenya in the East Africa Regional School Games. So remember, we shall of course be covering these games as they are happening. And for of course to dive deeper into this particular conversation, I'm joined by, remember of course, the top sponsors. They are the official sponsors. I'm happy of course to have Kenya Commercial Bank being the top sponsors of the national KCCCA, SSSA national games. And we have Nkatha Mutungi, who is the head of integrated marketing and brand communication at KCB. Nkatha, karibu sana.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Tumefurahi sana. Which sport did you play in high school or in college or in your heydays? Or you're still in your heydays?
Wow, I think I moved around quite a bit.
Yes.
I think there was a lot of excitement around basketball. Our hoop was broken, but we tried to make do.
You created an artificial one.
Shikiliwa somehow. So
Yes.
I did football, and I also did a lot of swimming.
Yeah. And those are the kind of games definitely that are also part of the disciplines in the national games that are happening in Kiambu County. Schools from across Kenya, some top talent. Absolutely. Why did KCB jump into this bandwagon? Of course, we had other top sponsors or supporters of the secondary school games. Now KCB has jumped it. Why now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just a natural fit to what we do. KCB has been in sports for so many years.
Correct.
And I think we've actually just been watching this Kenya secondary KSSSA. It's a difficult name.
Yes, KSSSA.
Yeah, but we've seen it grow quite a bit. And one of the things we've also learned is that we also have quite a number of kids who actually come from high schools who join our teams. So therefore, because we're very invested in trying to build a pipeline, we're like, okay, then I think, we think we need to get into this platform and see how we can support that natural pipeline of developing sports. Yes. So that's why we truly got into it. Sports is in our core, and we want to keep on investing in young guys through sports.
Yes, and of course, now that you're talking about the sports and KCB being very big in sports, you have a football team. I'm speaking about now the top flight, KCB. You are fully involved in rugby, of course, that participated both in the sevens and also that participates, of course, in our usual Premier Top Flight League, Kenya Cup. We have also this volleyball. Tell us about all that, because we are speaking also to the boys and girls. Of course, right now they are already playing, but they'll be watching this. That pathway, how promising is it for them? I know you're going to have thousands of boys and girls from different schools, from volleyball, basketball. And then now they're supposed to fit into this ecosystem, your KCB in your sports. How is that?
So KCB has invested around 3.5 billion in sports across the different disciplines that you've mentioned. There's chess, all the way to motorsports. There's also golf. I think I met some of the
junior players.
Yes. So we've invested in sports, and I think what we've done is creating platforms that young people can grow into. I think for a while those platforms were not there. What we've also done is that really worked on what that pipeline looks like. And as I said, we have a number of kids who have actually come. I know this case is actually used as a recruitment talent scouting platform. So what it has done for the brand and the role the brand has to play is creating those platforms that they can actually connect to. Beyond that, we actually have the KCB Foundation that has actually been providing scholarships for some of these young guys. So what we're trying to do is figure out what that platform is. Not only can these kids come and play in KCB, but they can also play in professional sports across all other teams. So we are not just looking about the future of the KCB teams, we're trying to look at the future of sports in Kenya as a whole. If they're able to go and compete in bigger platforms, having gone through the KCB process, that is fantastic. If we have athletes, I think we have around 125 scholarships for athletes. you have those kids then going to compete in international platforms, then we've actually done our role in terms of providing them a platform that they could grow in, and in one that they could actually excel in and create careers that they can actually live from.
Because if you're joining us, we are having a conversation about the Kenya Secondary Schools Sports Association National Term 2 Games that, of course, are currently underway in Kiambu County, specifically at the M-Pesa Foundation Academy in Thika, of course, where it will be hosting the main activities, of course, the opening ceremony and all those, of course, to welcome all these teams drawn from across the country. And definitely most of the football matches will be there. Remember, the M-Pesa Foundation, that particular field is well known for nurturing and giving an opportunity to footballers a chance to explore and express their talent. Remember, other avenues, of course, around the M-Pesa Foundation Academy. We have the football that will be held also at Mangu High School. Definitely there will be cricket, there will be beach volleyball, there will be at JQAT, the Jomo Kenyatta International University of Agricultural Technology, there will also be events happening there, especially baseball. We have so many other sports that are also taking place, and also they'll be happening netball. I'm talking about basketball, racket games. Of course, we've had chess, and you know KCB has always invested fully in chess, and our national team, our leagues. We've also seen KCB, besides sponsoring players, also being part of that particular ecosystem in chess. We have Scrabble, we have cricket, we have beach volleyball, and all this. And that's, of course, this particular afternoon we have Nkatha, of course, to share with us exactly why they are very fully involved into this particular venture of the National Term 2 Games, with some of the best players drawn from some of the best schools. Talk about Kwanzanze, Kesogon, talk about the teams from Western Kenya. Personally, I didn't get a chance to explore my talent. I just did it in high school, college, and I played basketball, just as Nkatha played basketball. But that's where it ended. We took our basketball to our corporate life. And so we have, of course, this conversation about KCB. And there we are speaking about how KCB already is fully involved in a lot of sports activities. As we speak right now, there is the first round of the Kenya National Rally Championship in Stony Athi in Machakos County, and we know how much investment that KCB has put, of course, in motorsport, and I'm sure, of course, they are warming up to it. I will not trip Nkatha to share about motorsport, because we don't have any motorsport at the Term 2 National Games. I hope we can have some games, we can have small motorsport events. Imagine, Nkatha, angala ikuwe part of the curriculum ya games, the National Term 2 Games. Watu waendeshe hizo malanga kidogo.
One day.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we've had Nkatha shared about how the transition from, of course, now this particular talent. And how many years are you looking in terms of this investment? I know these other sports, you've always put a very long-term investment. You have structures, you have ways, of course, how these things can feed into each other. Sai, after this National Term 2 Games, what next? Of course, we have the East Africa Games. Tutakuona pale. After the East Africa Games, what next? For the benefit of the parents, the boys and the girls and the teachers and the coaches who are definitely now into these school games.
Yeah, it is our hope that we will continue with the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association. I think we've just received quite a lot of good reception.
Yes.
And I think that there's a lot that can be done. So this is just the beginning.
Yes.
I think we'll keep on working together, even when we met the leadership of KSSSA.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of excitement. So again, KCB has been in sports for so many years, and it is not things, you know, we don't pick platforms and just leave them.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to a good relationship with them.
And I'm looking, of course, you're not working alone in isolation, especially for these school games. Besides the KSSSA, there's the Ministry of Education, there's the Ministry of Sports. Most of these all government agencies are fully involved, hands on deck, especially for these national games. And we're looking at giving opportunity to these boys and girls, not only for their talent just to be expressed during schools, but to transition. So how is that relationship? Kina Ministry of Education, Ministry of Sports, all this, because besides people playing on the soccer pitch, of course, also you're encouraging waende shule, wasome, kama wengine wataenda football, wacheze football, wale wataenda kufanya white collar jobs, kama mimi wako on the teller, si ni sawa tu pia. So how is that relationship?
Yeah, so there's a lot we are doing as a brand to invest in the future.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And I think one of the things that we've done that's a bit different, you know, people were asking, why are you putting in sustainability into sports? Because one of the things we want to do through, you know, we've worked with the Ministry of Education for very long. We've been active within the sports space. What we are looking at is how do we build a future for every student? Because we are very passionate about building the next generation. You know, over and above the products that we have for kids, you know, we recently launched a Leo account for teens. We have a CAB account for children.
Yes.
So over and above doing that, we want to ensure that, and through these partnerships with the government, is to ensure that schools are actually providing and using clean energy. And by clean energy, I mean, you can imagine an athlete training somewhere in Rift, and when they're running, they're passing through a lot of smoke. For you to be in your prime and to be a strong athlete and to perform well, then you need clean air. But how can you then get that clean air if 90% of our schools are using firewood to cook, which is huge. So there's a huge initiative to try and drive schools to cleaner energy, because once we provide the cleaner energy, we make the world a much safer place. We've all seen the challenges with global warming.
Yes.
We've seen the extreme drought. We've seen the heavy floods. All that is caused by the amount of trees that are being cut. 10 million trees, approximately. The Ministry of Education says 10 million trees are cut every year by schools to meet their firewood requirements. That's a lot. That's around 50 acres per school. That is a lot. So if then we are talking about building a future that actually works and providing a future for our next generation, then it starts by educating them about what does clean energy mean. It's not just a big corporate conversation or a global conversation. So what we've done is that we've invested in educating them. So on ground, we actually have activation booths that are educating them about what it is.
Yes.
So whether they are active in sports now and in their future careers, or like you, it is for now and then later on I get into a different career, then, you know, the solutions will actually come from that generation. So that is why, you know, we are really doing this and focused on nurturing that next generation, so that then now they solve problems beyond just sports. There are bigger problems that they are able to solve.
Of course, indeed, true. And of course, as you're speaking about this, I'm sure you're happy you're seeing Kenyans being represented in huge tournaments or top tournaments like the Commonwealth Games that are currently underway in Glasgow, Scotland. Of the national soccer team, female ladies, that is Harambee Starlets, in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. We have a lot, of course, we have the Youth Olympics coming up in Dakar. We have the AFCON 2027 coming. And of course, these kind of games definitely give coaches a difficult time in selecting, or scouts in selecting talent. Also, KCB, just besides, as you mentioned, clean energy, I'm looking at financial literacy. Most of these boys and girls, some of us didn't get an opportunity to get financial literacy when we were in school. We're just being told, save some money, ndo ukuwe na pocket money, stam ikiisha ukuwe na pesa ya kurudi Oshago. But now, of course, I can imagine now this is the best platform, a great breeding ground for you to now to have to impart those financial literacy skills in these boys and girls. I'm sure that is part of the conversations you're having.
It's part of our bigger agenda when we are talking about youth. Through it, I mentioned our two products. I think one of the big things we are developing on the side is financial literacy. But also what we've done for our sports teams, we actually walk them through and take them through financial literacy conversations. We also introduce them to our foundation. So, you know, sports, anything can happen. You might hurt your leg, you're not able to progress. Then you have an opportunity to pick a different career, and we do that through our enterprise development program with the foundation. We started sponsorship, resumed sponsorship with Athletics Kenya last year, and one of the bigger items that we do is financial literacy. So we actually have camps with athletes. We go on ground and have camps with them at different levels, because there are those who are growing in the career, and there are those who are actually settled and you know, generating some good income. So we work and take them through workshops and support them with financial literacy content, so that then they're able to use that to invest and support themselves. So it's ingrained in what we're doing, and we'll keep on building to it.
Of course, I'm happy. And I'm sure yourself, I know the game starting, of course, officially this weekend until the 6th of August in Thika, in Kiambu County, to be a beehive of activity. Wale watu muko Thika Road, tafadhali, when you see those yellow buses, those are your future stars. Wasalimie sahi mapema, msingoje waomoke ndo mwanze kuwasalimia mkisema nini hapa na pale. And of course, if you are joining us, we are speaking about, of course, the Term 2 national games that are currently underway. Remember, kutakuwa na opening ceremony. All those, of course, the ceremonial start of this event. And we are having Katha Mtungi from KCB Bank, that is the head of integrated marketing and brand communications. One last bit, of course, which sports should we look out for that, of course, have caught your eye, especially this particular national Term 2 games? Of course, for me, the football. But we shouldn't just put all our eyes on football. We make other people who play chess and swimming feel very chini. So how are you going to balance this? Gani una invest more for, but how are you going to ensure that watu wa rugby, na watu wa swimming, na watu wa Scrabble, they can feel on the same level than to be. Unajua sahi watu wana feel tu hizi games, kuna zile ziko huku juu na kuna zile
ziko. Yeah, so interesting. I think Kenyans move in a certain way. But we've seen, things like chess growing very well in schools. What we've done, imagine we have trophies for everybody. We are not selecting. Yeah, so we are looking for champions across the board,
yes.
Regardless of popularity of the sport. So we are supporting all the children. We are supporting all the categories. We've provided kits across board. So sisi hatubagui, we are supporting everybody.
Everyone is a sports person at this particular competition. And we talk about prizes. What interesting prizes we have? Ama tu wakishashinda mwenye anashinda napatiwa trophy. Najua ni watoto, they are under 18. Najua najaribu kushangaa kama utawapatia 2 million per team. Ama utawadunga scholarship kwa hiyo team. The prize is looking for outpost.
Tutakaa na wewe next year to plan pamoja.
Hapo ndo Nkapa ameniruka hiyo story.
We shall sit together, but we shall know on Thursday,
yes.
in the closing.
In the closing ceremony, of course. Yes. Remember, if you want to see some wonderful talent in different disciplines in sports, especially for our under 18 boys and girls, the action is at the M-Pesa Foundation Academy in Thika, which is the main event, which will host volleyball, netball, football, basketball 3x3. Looking at the other indoor games, there's Mangu High School, where also other events will be happening. The Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology grounds also will host several events. The event, of course, from 2nd all the way to the end of the week. We have preliminary action and starting all that in that particular effort. I'll put you on the spot as we wind up this interview, Nkatha. I know we have scouts that pick students. Besides them just going to KCB, I'm sure you have a relationship with other teams in the disciplines that KCB is. For example, there is KCB Premier League, there is KCB Rugby, and all this. So how do you not take all the top players, weke KCB, alafu naacha AFC Leopards bila maplayer wengine, sababu ni tournament yako, so utaki kupatia wengine waende Gor Mahia, ama wengine waende Impala, ama wengine wale Harlequins. How are you having that relationship? How are you coexisting with your other competitors in the sports industry as we wind up?
It is not a bad competition, but I think building talent is a collaborative thing. And I think one of the things we've wanted for a long time is actually working with the federations to create platforms, so that then it's not just specific for KCB. So even before those structures are actually set up, I think that the platform, if any other person wants to come, any other team, I know they will be on ground watching.
Yes,
I think they're all welcome. And it also brings the excitement to the competition on the pitch.
Thank you very much. Nkatha Mtungi, Head of Integrated Marketing and Brand Communication at the Kenya Commercial Bank. We definitely are on the ground as we speak right now. We shall be following those games. I know their CEOs, everybody. I know KCB, they have a policy, I'm guessing, of being very sportish. So unajua all staff members wa KCB from all the branches in Kenya watakuwa kwa ground huko Kiambu County, huko M-Pesa Foundation. They love sports, that's for sure. I've seen it. I'm not speaking something, of course, that I've not seen on the ground. So we shall be there, of course, to support and showcase the talent on the field, and of course give the opportunity to the boys and girls to express themselves on the court and also on the field. So thank you very much. for really investing in schools, especially in the matters to do with games. So well done. That's, of course, you did a good job. Asante sana. So TV47, of course, will give you all the action starting all the way this weekend till at the end of the week, when we shall be knowing who are the winners in the different disciplines. So this, of course, you can only find them on Sports Extravaganza. Remember, of course, in our news as sports, we shall be able, of course, to update you of everything that is happening on the ground in the different fields. This is Sports Extravaganza. Thank you very much for making time. I know, of course, after this, we have